Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're all doing really well as always. And today I thought we'd take a look at the set list that Slipknot are playing on this tour that they've just started. They've just started the Knotfest Roadshow 2022. So let's take a look at the songs they've been playing and let's decide for ourselves if this really is the best set list they've ever put together. So I don't know if you guys have seen Slipknot before. I saw them back in 2019, literally just before the whole COVID thing took off. So I guess that was the We Are Not Your Kind tour. Saw them in Manchester with Behemoth supporting them, which was really cool because I dig both bands quite a bit. But the one thing I will say is they became very sort of single heavy on the set lists, and there wasn't a whole lot of sort of ambiguity in there. And I think a lot of like true Slipknot fans and stuff like that, they've really wanted to see them pull out some of like the deeper cuts going forward. I think in a couple of recent interviews, Corey Taylor has said that it's not just going to be a predictable set list. So let's take a look and see what the guys are playing. Okay, so right out of the gate, Disaster Piece, brilliant. That is probably one of my favorite songs from Iowa. And they played that when I saw them back in 2019, but that was sort of like, I don't know, a middle of the set kind of song, or maybe in the first quarter of the set. So that's like right out of the gate, smack in the face. Yeah. You know, we're back, we're touring, and, you know, we're not letting up. You know, Iowa is arguably their most brutal album, in my opinion. Anyway, it's my favorite album from the guys. So that is a really strong opener to me, and I know that's one of Corey Taylor's favorite songs, so he's probably pushed to keep that in the set, and what a great opener. Next one, Wait and Bleed. That's interesting because usually they kind of save that for like the encores and stuff like that, so I don't think it would really be a Slipknot show if they didn't play this song just for what it did for them. Coming off of that first album, the self-titled, that single was absolutely huge. And it's really funny because going into the second album, just before they wrote it and stuff, the labels were saying, yeah, we just need, you know, an album of 10 Wait and Bleeds and, you know, you're good to go, you know, like accessible sort of singly type things. And they went in the complete opposite direction, I guess you could say. They put out probably what's their darkest work. But anyway, so there you go. Number 2, Wait and Bleed. Very cool song. Next, Sulfur. That song's not seen the light of day in a long time, I don't think. Anyway, correct me if I'm wrong there. I know they played that a heck of a lot around the 2008 All Hope Is Gone days. That's, I think, is... I don't know, even though it was a single and it was kind of everywhere on like the music video mediums at the time on TV, I don't know, I think it kind of got overshadowed by Your Dead Memories, Snuff, Psychosocial, those songs as well, so it's cool to see that one back in there. I like that song a lot because it's got one of Jim's noodly guitar solos, and I think if you were there at that show, third song in the set, that's probably one of the last songs you were going to expect to hear, maybe that early in the set. I think a lot of people might have thought that song might have had its day. Correct me if I'm wrong, let me know down below. So next, moving on, we've got Before I Forget. Again, you know, it's not one of my favorite Slipknot songs just because I've heard it to death. But it's not really a Slipknot show if they don't play that one, I guess. I think it would be a little bit like Metallica not playing Enter Sandman or Nothing Else Matters if they didn't play that one. Funnily enough, though, I don't think they played that when I saw them live, so they've brought it back. But yeah, it's a big song. Again, it's a crowd pleaser, you know. It's one of those where it doesn't matter how many times you've heard it, when you put it on, you can't help but get into it, and especially if you're there in the live atmosphere. And look at the, you know, the atmosphere they've built up. Disaster Piece, smack you in the face. Wait and Bleed, smack you in the face. Sulfur, that's a quick song, big chorus, smack you in the face. Before I Forget, you know, it's keeping that momentum up, so it's cool. I could live with it. Next, Chapeltown Rag. Okay, so this is the latest song from the guys that is going to be off their upcoming record, I believe. I don't know about this song. Let me know what you guys think. It's kind of a it's kind of an oddball for me. I know they're always trying to push and do stuff differently, but I don't know. It's good musically and stuff, but the chorus doesn't quite rope me in. The vocal hook, the melody. But the one thing I do like about it is that big F off sort of da na 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 da na right then, that sort of breakdown riff, I guess you could say. I think that's really cool with the sort of stop-start thing. Next up, we got Dead Memories, which they haven't played since 2016, it says here. Funnily enough, shameless plug, I just put out a lesson video on how to actually play the chords and the leads in that chorus, if you guys want to go and check that out. But yeah, I think that song deserves to be played. It's big song, again, coming off of All Hope Is Gone. Arguably their biggest record in a way, between that and Subliminal, I don't know. I think All Hope Is Gone really, really took them that next step when they were getting like platinum albums and headline slots and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm a massive fan of Dead Memories. I wouldn't mind to see that played live again. It's very cool that they are playing it again. Next up, we've got Unsainted, which is the first proper track, I guess, off of the We Are Not Your Kind album, after that insert coin intro thing. Unsainted, yeah, it's a cool song. You know, I could take or leave that one personally myself. I saw them play it live. They opened with it. It's not a bad song, but it doesn't quite, I don't know. It's got its cool things. It's got the big chorus, you know, and it's got that interesting sort of groovy breakdown section. I like it a lot, but, you know, would I swap it out for one of my favorite songs like New Abortion? Absolutely. Straight up. So number 8, we've got the Heretic Anthem. I mean, what more do I need to say? Just double kick on that one, especially when it sort of like breaks down in the middle of it. That is one of their, I don't know, accessible songs in a way if you like heavy metal and you're used to like the screaming and the shouting and stuff like that. It's not like a big long endeavor or anything like that, and it's got sort of a good hook with a 555 then 666 thing, but again, as accessible it is for people who are like into this sort of music, it still packs a hell of a punch. So yeah, absolutely, I would, if I was putting together my own set list, I would 100% have that in there. So next one, looks like we're entering the drop A sort of section of the set. Back to back, we got Psychosocial and The Devil and I. So you guitar players will know those songs are played in the same tuning, so it's always better for a band to put songs that are in the same tuning together just to save like guitar swap ups and stuff like that. Makes it a little easier. Psychosocial, again, is as big a single as it is, and every time I hear it now, I'm a little bit like, you know, because like, I don't know, for instance, if you're like at a get-together or a party or whatever, and, you know, you're like the metalhead there, and somebody goes, oh, we'll put a song on for you because like nobody else is metalheads, you can guarantee it's going to be that, you know. Everybody's heard that song at some point. And to be honest with you, again, it's not a Slipknot show if they don't play that one. It's funny because on the last album, on We Are Not Your Kind, there's a song on there called Critical Darling, I think it was called. And Jim Root was doing sort of like a track-by-track interview at the time. He said that felt like a logical progression from Psychosocial. Similar sort of thing, similar sort of riff, but it just goes to show that song, even though it was written maybe with the same sort of thing in mind, sort of a mid-tempo grooving riff in a way, it just goes to show that, you know, well, they're not playing that one. You know, if that's sort of to fill that spot in a set and stuff like that, that song, to my ears anyway, was never as good as Psychosocial at all. So there we go. So we got that one. And moving into the next drop A song, you've got The Devil and I. Okay. So from the Grey Chapter, I like that song a lot. I've heard it a lot of times. Would I want it in my live show? Yeah, I guess. Again, I'd prefer a deeper cut, I guess, but you know, I suppose you've got to play like the big ones from the albums, I suppose you could say. So next, after that, tuning back up, drop B, we got Solway Firth. Now that, people didn't like that song, and I don't know why. That is like everything I want in Slipknot. It's the last track on the We Are Not Your Kind album, so they are giving that album quite a bit of love here, playing some of the songs from it, along with all of them, actually. They've played quite a bit of a balance so far. But yeah, Solway Firth, I mean, the riff, you know, like it speaks for itself, and it's Corey is like pouring his heart out in that one. I don't think I'd heard him sing that angrily since Iowa. Bear with me on that one. On Subliminal Verses, he was going for something quite different with his vocals. He was going for that higher range, and it was kind of like similar to what he was doing with the Come Whatever May era of Stone Sour. Then come round to All Hope Is Gone, there's a little bit more of a grunt going on. I don't know. It's probably my least favorite Corey vocal era on All Hope Is Gone. Grey Chapter, again, it was okay. You know, there was a lot of anger in there, especially on songs like Custer and stuff like that. But I hadn't heard him like completely let rip in a long time. And then when I heard Solway Firth, which is a place in Scotland, by the way, if you ever wondered what that title is, because it is a funny name. Yeah, to me, that is just him just like completely just letting it out. And that last line, I haven't smiled in years, and the way just like gutturals at the end. Yeah, that's, yeah, I would want to see that song. I have seen that song. They played it live when I saw them. So yeah, absolutely. I'd be very happy to hear them play that. So next, the 12th song in the set list, All Out Live. Yeah, that to me has always had kind of a volume 3 kind of vibe going on with it, especially with the big speech thing in the middle and with the piano and stuff like that. I absolutely love that song. So yeah, I'd be very happy to see them play that one. So the next one, song number 13, first time since 2012, Snuff. Oh my God. That's a song I never expected to see in the set list again. However, a couple of days ago on Jim Root's Instagram, he did like a little story, just quickly going through all his guitars on the rig, just kind of like showing that like the back attic, gearing up for tour and stuff. And on the bench, lying down, after he went through his rack, was like this, I think it was like some sort of like Fender small acoustic guitar, kind of like electric guitar body shape. There's probably a name for this shape. Let me know down below if I'm completely missing it. But an acoustic guitar basically sat on the bench. And that only meant like, I don't know, 3 things to me. You know, Snuff, Vermilion Part 2, maybe Circle. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Maybe a Liar's Funeral perhaps for the intro. But anyway, it's not. It's Snuff. And I kind of had a feeling it would be Snuff. And it kind of makes sense because maybe this is the part in the set where they're paying a little bit of tribute to Joey Jordison and Paul Gray. They were the 2 guys who really pulled that song together and made that song what it was. So it kind of makes sense for them to play that song because they've lost the 2 guys. You know, whether Joey was in the band or not, at the end of the day, they lost a brother. They lost somebody who was a major, major part of that band. And some people will even go and say that a lot of Slipknot's edge left when Joey left the band and stuff like that. But unfortunately, the situation now is that he has passed. And this song, whenever it plays now, I always used to think about Paul. But because they were both kind of integral to the writing of that song, I think about them both. And I think about Joey a lot. I think the day that Joey passed, I put out a cover of this song, actually, just to pay my sort of respects, I guess. And I won't lie, that was a pretty heavy one to do. Like, that was a, you know, I didn't even know the guy, but that was a really heavy cover to put out because I've been listening to that song for years. And put it this way, whenever you listen to that song, it's it's never a good thing, right? Lyrically, it's very morose, it's very dark. You know, you don't put that song on and come away from it feeling like, oh, I had a great time. You know, you'll come away and go, yeah, great song, but if that song's playing and you're in that place, it's never a good thing, right? So at that point, listening to it again with this whole new sort of meaning to it for me, I guess you could say, because Joey was one of my favorite drummer, I guess you could say. Yeah, that was pretty heavy. So I think it makes a lot of sense for them to play this song, and the song's great. It's the layering's interesting in it from a musical standpoint, the guitars and stuff like that, and it deserves to be played. And I think it's just a lovely way of paying respect to both Paul and Joey because they were so integral in the writing of that song. So next up, song number 14, we got Vermilion. That's one of my favorite Slipknot songs. So yeah, I saw them play it when they played it in 2019. I'd be very happy to have that in the set list if I was at the show. I think it's dark. I think it's heavy. I think it's jazzy. Yeah, it's got very sort of interesting sort of groove to it. I think the chords that Jim are playing, especially on that outro, are really dark. It's just a really interesting approach to playing guitar rather than just straight power chords, you know what I'm saying? Love that song because usually, right at the end, Corey just starts like throwing himself around on stage and stuff like that. That's probably one of the most theatrical songs, I guess you could say, and it's very dynamic the way it goes down quite quiet and then it comes back up again, and it's got some really fast machine gun riffs, very sort of like Mick Thompson sort of machine gun kind of quick picked riffs and stuff like that, which is cool. So next, number 15, of course, we got Duality. That song is what it is. It's a crowd pleaser. So yeah, I've got nothing else to say about that. You've probably heard the song just as much as I have. Would I swap it out for, like I said, Metabolic or New Abortion? Yes, I would, but at the end of the day, you got to play your hits, right? So song number 16, we've got Custer. Now, a lot of people have been asking them to bring that song back. That was probably one of the most well-received songs off of the Grey Chapter. It's got a little bit of that sort of wacky, on the edge of sanity kind of thing going on with it, that Slipknot are known for, especially in the early days. And, you know, it's hard to capture that energy that you had when you were like, I don't know, like 20 years old or however old they were when they were starting out. You know, that first album is a true, you know, representation and picture of where they were at and the energy that and the attitude that they wanted to take to the world. And it's very hard, you know, to recapture that raw sort of aggression and mean it. And between that song and Negative One on the Grey Chapter, I think it definitely shows, and it doesn't sound forced at all. So yeah, Custer, great song. A lot of people have asked for that back, and they've delivered, so very cool. 17, last song just before the encore. Now we got Spit It Out. You know, I think if you say Slipknot to Slipknot fans, I think you know, you've got a song that comes to mind straight away. And when somebody says Slipknot to me, I hear that dun, 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 that strange sort of intro. And then just like going into it. I think that song encompasses everything that Slipknot is or was or about with their mission statement when they first set out. So next we're going into the encore now. We got People Equal Shit. That's cool because sometimes they'd stick that toward the beginning of the set list or even open with it. And the fact that you might have thought, well, that's not getting played. The fact that they've come back and done it as an encore, brilliant. I mean, what can I say? It's Iowa. It's heavy. It's dark. You know, I will never get sick of hearing that song. And, you know, that's been quite a high energy set list, you know, as it was. You know, coming out of Duality, Custer, Spit It Out, right, where everybody's been going nuts. Coming into the encore and like gearing it up again and going in with more arguably like their heaviest song or one of their heaviest songs. It's kind of like, you know, we ain't done yet. You got another 20 minutes of us, so let's keep pushing, you know. So number 19, moving forward, Sick. Again, I think there'll be a lot of angry people if they didn't play that one. It is what it is. We've heard the song. It belongs in the set list. It is what it is. Enough said. So the last song to finish on, number 20. So it's a 20-song set, which is good, nice and long. A lot of bands are cutting their set lists a little bit shorter these days, but it's cool they've gone in for a 20-song set. Surfacing is the perfect song to take the show out, in my opinion. It's rough, it's heavy. I mean, the chorus line, again, talk about mission statements with Spit It Out. I think the ultimate mission statement is that chorus, right? With the lyrics there, it just kind of says absolutely everything. And it, like I say, talking about mission statements, you know, all of them were very angry, pissed off men, and just wanted to put a sledgehammer to the world back then. And I think that song sort of said it all. So yeah, that song is Slipknot at its core, and what a hell of a way to take out the set. You know, I always think that you should take albums and set lists out on a bang. A little bit like with Metallica. They'd finish their albums with like Dyer's Eve, Damaging, that sort of thing. Again, set lists should be the same. And that is probably the defining Slipknot song in my opinion. So there you go, guys. There's the set list. Let me know what you think down below. Is it too single heavy? That's my question for you. Do you want to see more deep cuts? Now, they've brought a couple of songs out that they haven't played in a long time. Dead Memories, Snuff. But again, these were big singles, yeah? Were you hoping to see something a little bit more, you know, in the esoteric area? Something a little bit more arcane, I guess you could say. You know, those deeper cuts on Volume 3. Scream, for instance. How cool would that be? I don't know. Going off of Iowa. New Abortion. They played that when I saw them. That's like my favorite Slipknot song, I think. One of, you know, do you want to see that more of that sort of stuff, or would you guys just be happy to just see the singles? I think the thing that they have done is they've kept a good blend of the album, so it's not just like we are not your kind, we are not your kind, we are not your kind, we are not your kind. Do you know what I mean? They've kind of moved on from that now, and they're kind of playing a little bit more of a rounded set list. So I think there's a good blend there. And at the end of the day, you got 20 songs. If you've got a big catalog, you know, I mean, how many albums have they got now? Is it like 6, 7? It's difficult to pick songs because there's, and especially when you've got 9 guys, and they've all probably got ideas about their perfect set list. Yeah. And then you've got to think about the audience as well. What do they want to see live? You know, people go, well, they want to hear the singles. They want to hear Duality. They want to hear, you know, Psychosocial. But there will be guys in that band saying, no, I think, you know, people are kind of more wanting the darker sort of hidden tracks, I guess you could say, the deeper cuts, you know, Scream, Metabolic, those sorts of things. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Have you been to this concert? Were you there? Let me know. Did you enjoy it? Are you going to a show on this Knotfest Roadshow? Let me know down below. Are you looking forward to it? And let me know also down below what your perfect Slipknot set list would be. I'm really interested to see what you guys' dream set lists would be. So that's the video. Thank you so much if you've made it this far into it. I've got so many exciting things in the works that are coming up soon, and I know I've been saying this for ages, but it is coming to a head, and I'm going to be able to share all that with you really soon, so please hang tight and bear with me on that one. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.